At the roof of Portugal, winter was bountiful. Although it's already spring, the snow cloak is still present. But not for long. As temperatures rise, all this snow will gently melt. Layer by layer, in just a few days, the life forms that were buried under the snow will see sunlight again. The water that was held prisoner here will soon begin an epic journey. Every single one of these drops will make it count. All of these habitats will now embrace the new cycle of life. Most of the freshwater springs are born here, high in the mountains. Through hundreds of miles in their journey, rivers will cross countless habitats and bring life to all the different species that depend on them. All this power has been continuously changing the landscape for ages. This is a journey through the Portuguese wilderness. Wild Portugal, from the mountains to the coast. These mountains are the birthplace of some of the biggest rivers in the country. Nourished by an almost unfailing source of water, the Zizard River initiates its incredible journey here, at an altitude of 1900 meters. It starts slowly, as a small stream, but gravity imposes its force on the way down. In the upper reaches, mountain streams are full of strength. All of this water joins to form rivers, building in power to create rapids. The waters are rich in oxygen and the ideal place for insects to reproduce. In spring, they fill the air with their presence. This attracts specialized hunters. Before the insects get their wings, they must complete their metamorphosis underwater. For some, this will never happen. The Dipper. A cunning hunter, nothing escapes his eye. He is perfectly adapted to these turbulent waters, where he actively searches for food. His streamlined body makes him an excellent diver. He feeds mostly on insects, larvae, and small fish. This aquatic rocky world is his domain. Every spring, they nest in nearby waterfalls, often inaccessible places. Hidden in the hole, his chicks are still too small to leave the nest. Here, they are more protected from predators that are always looking for an opportunity. The dipper must continue his search for food to be successful in raising his offspring. These rough waters are populated by many species of fish. Trouts. They join here to feed and reproduce. The shallow cold waters are ideal for the first years of their offspring, before they start their journey towards the sea. Their presence also attracts other species. For the otter, this can be a feast. But first, it must pursue the fish, which may not be easy. Otters are amazing acrobats, gliding effortlessly underwater. They can only be submerged as much as 4 minutes, so they have to come up to breathe every once in a while. For the fish, this might be a good opportunity to escape. It was not the case for this trout. This battle is as old as the species themselves, and it profits their evolution path. The water flow here is not constant. In some parts of the river, natural ponds are formed, and sometimes small fish get trapped, waiting for the next flood to escape. These ponds are the hunting grounds for the Iberian water snake, and she spotted something. She has a perfectly adapted body to both water and land, and she scouts these shallow waters for prey. With very sharp senses, she is a threat to 2 small fish that are hidden in the pond. If they stay still, they might go unnoticed. But the snake's movement scares one of them, and he has no chance. The other fish is alone now, and as danger increases, he can't resist the urge of trying to dodge the snake. This is his death sentence. Further downstream, the river waters calm down and the water flow widens. On the banks of the river, A very special event is about to start. Preparations are already on the way. Weapons must be ready and sharp. The quietness of the forest is about to get disturbed. The rut season has just started. Red deer signal their presence, roaring through the forest. These sounds are like warnings and affronts. There is a lot to conquer. This older male has proven to be the dominant stag for this group so far. He has a considerable harem under his influence, and this causes other males to be greedy. The siege is getting ever tighter. The old stag is unbelievably quiet, even though he continues to give warnings to outsiders. With so many others looking for a chance to take over his harem, can the old stag stand his ground? A younger male is getting dangerously close. The female scent is too strong. He is driven to get closer and closer. If he gets any closer, a fight will be inevitable. Finally, the older male shows why he is still in charge. A little game of chase is enough to scare the competition away. The old deer has ruled these pine woods for almost a decade. His kingdom's peak has already passed, and he is showing signs of weakness. Harem-holding stags rarely feed during the rut season and lose up to 20% of their body weight. The group under his influence is composed by 15 hinds and 6 calves. There is a lot to take care of. In the pine woods, younger males are preparing for the second raid of the day. Deer are usually more active during twilight and night, so the next attack should occur later in the afternoon or under the moonlight. They must grasp the earlier hours of the day, when it's colder, to prepare themselves for battle. For this 2-year-old male, it's time to begin the quest for females. But he still has a long way to go. An eldest juvenile looks at him from a distance. They decide to join efforts on the long learning process of the art of war. Sooner or later, these games will pay off. As the day goes by, the old stag enjoys the quietness and refreshes himself, followed by some hinds. The worst is yet to come. Later on, the younger males are all getting closer again. There are 5 young pretenders approaching from all sides of the woods. The agitation in the heart of the group is visible. The old stag tries to hold the group together, but he is lame and tired. The task of keeping his harem has taken its toll on him. The females are not responding. Even the youngest male is trying his luck. And the hind gets closer to him. There are too many males, and the females are interested. As soon as he turns his back, the females move away. He is powerless. All of a sudden, most of the hinds run away. Only one remains loyal, at least for now. This kingdom seems to be over. Tonight, the dispute will continue. Morning comes with news of a bloodshed. The older stag got involved in his last fight. He is seriously injured. He tries to stand, but he just can't make it. His cycle is over. But in nature, everything is connected. After entering the Portuguese territory, the Douro River will be a natural border between Portugal and Spain for about 60 miles. For millennia, the river has carved its way through these magnificent cliffs. One of its most common inhabitants is the griffon vulture. They were waiting for temperatures to rise to take advantage of the hot ascending air. This will help them run across their territory, scavenging for food with very little effort. They feed mostly on dead animals, so they live in an endless search. They are often seen in big flocks and joined to feast. A prize has been found. A carrion has much to offer to these vultures. The turmoil begins. Food opportunities are scarce, and each vulture has to take advantage. Other species have to wait from a distance for the hope of any leftovers. Vultures are too big to be defied. Piece by piece, the carcass will be consumed. These are the true ecosystem caretakers. By eating the dead animals, they prevent diseases from spreading. Amidst this apparent commotion, there is a well-established hierarchy. Grunts and hisses are heard. The vultures stand their positions. First come, first served. After only 3 hours, almost nothing is left behind. The vultures can now rest and enjoy a sunbath. For others, the search continues. Even far from its birthplace, a river can still sometimes find abrupt descents. This can create water rapids, like these in the Guadiana River, the biggest river in southern Portugal. In this area, a remarkable nature conservation breakthrough was achieved. The well-preserved conditions of the ecosystem allowed the return of one of the most iconic species of Portugal's fauna. It moves like a ghost through the landscape. It was for several years the most threatened cat species on the planet. It evolved apart from the other European populations, making it a distinct species, endemic to the Iberian Peninsula. The Iberian lynx. He actively patrols his territory in a never-ending search, especially for rabbits, his main source of food. But rabbits are not an easy meal. The lynx recently returned to the Guadiana region as part of a major international conservation project that has proven to be very successful. The lynx's favorite prey is the rabbit, and their close extinction in Portugal was linked to the decline of the wild rabbit populations, mostly due to widespread diseases. In fact, rabbits are essential to most big predators, and the lynx is not the only one depending on it. The Iberian Imperial eagle. One of the most fascinating birds of prey. A couple had a successful hunt. it is mating season for the eagles, and the pair join their efforts. The male will hunt and offer prey to the female to impress her. So for now, although he is hungry, he has to give his turn to the female. While she eats the best parts of the rabbit, the male has to watch patiently. The Iberian Imperial eagle has been sharing the same fate with the Iberian lynx. Both are apex predators and very specialized on this type of habitat. Both are endemic to the peninsula, and both were almost extinct. The main reason for this was habitat loss and the lack of their favorite prey. By the 1960s, it had become critically endangered, with only 30 pairs remaining, all located in Spain. Finally, it's the male's turn to feed. Their bond is strengthening. The female satisfied her hunger. While the male is finishing the leftovers, the female contemplates their territory and her partner. She seems enchanted. Let's hope this pair succeeds in breeding the next generation. In the Algarve, some rivers are the stage for an amazing event. Insect life is very complex. They cross several stages until they reach adulthood. For this butterfly, the journey has just started. She is still a caterpillar. This stage of her development is when she is more vulnerable. As a defense mechanism, she displays bright colors to drive away potential predators. For a stone chat, this is enough as a warning. There is easier prey around. From his favorite perch, he just has to wait to seize an opportunity. After some time, the caterpillar is now a beautiful chrysalis. A green capsule protects her from the outside world. Soon, it will reveal what is inside. A monarch butterfly. She will now uncurl her wings and assume her final stage of development. But she is not ready yet. First, she needs to pump the fluids inside her body to the wings. She must check all her systems before the first flight. The cocoon is now just a memory of the past. Monarch butterflies are native to the American continent. So how did they end up here, all the way across the Atlantic? They are known for their epic migrations across America. To accomplish these migrations, they fly at very high altitudes, and strong winds can divert them from their course. This was probably what occurred, but no one knows for sure. Once in Portugal, they found a perfect habitat to thrive. Now, their only concern is mating. They are flying reproduction machines, powered by sugar water. From flower to flower, they collect the much-needed nectar. Their proboscis is made for sipping this precious liquid. While flowers help butterflies to get their energy, butterflies will in turn help the plants reproduce. Not all rivers end up in the ocean. Some are just tributaries to others, and some, more rarely, end up forming lakes. This one is the biggest natural lake in all the Iberian Peninsula. In some years, when rain is abundant and the edges of the lake expand, we can also find swamps. This ever-changing landscape is an amazing ecosystem. Several species of plants and animals call this wetland their home. Freshwater lakes are perfect habitats for Perez's frogs. Humidity is essential for their survival, and vegetation provides shelter from predators. Frogs are gathering in great numbers. They chose this open area to show their skills. This will be a song contest, and everyone must be prepared. At dusk, their croak can be heard throughout the entire lake. Love songs fill the air, and no one is indifferent to this deafening appeal. It is mating season for the frogs, and there is a lot happening in the still waters of the lake. Until now, all of this singing seems to maintain peace at the lake. But when sounds are not enough, they need to take drastic measures. The tension builds up in the air, and eventually it has to be released. As the levels of the sound competition rise, they seem to start attacking each other. They leap towards their opponents, perhaps to silence them, or maybe they are blinded by their sexual urge and think that everyone is a female. This creates a big hustle at the lake. Soon, they all seem to be martial arts experts, and kicks and punches are thrown. After a while, the commotion calms down, but as soon as the songs resume, the fights start all over again. A day like this must be exhaustive. The magical hours of dusk and dawn are often the perfect time for most of the animals. Competition is essential to all creatures. If frogs have to show their value by singing, others prefer synchronized dancing. Just like the frogs, Great Crested Grebes are gathering for their own dancing contest. But unlike the frog's frenzy, this is a more civilized festival. These birds' dance is an important part of their mating ritual. Symmetry and mimicking are key elements. They perfectly reproduce each other's movements. While some have already found their better half, others are still on the lookout. The lake is invaded by love dancers. All this tenderness can create envy. Males will defend their dance partners at all costs. They assume a frightening pose and drive away potential enemies. Now they can resume their choreography. After falling in love, the couples have to build a nest to welcome their upcoming offspring. And stay alert for potential squatters. Near the end, some rivers give an ultimate boost to life. Lagoons, deltas, and estuaries are some of the richest habitats on Earth. Birds are perhaps the most common sight. However, in Portugal, this type of habitat is full of hidden treasures. Rivers bring an almost endless supply of nutrients that will enrich these wetlands. This can support great numbers of animals and plants. Thousands of birds travel to Portugal every year. Some come just for shelter, but some will take advantage of the abundance of food and mild climate to rear their young. For the birds that have just arrived, it is time to feast. And the spoonbill does just that. With his spoon-shaped bill, he forages the shallow waters of the salt marsh for food. His eyes are positioned to provide binocular vision. For his prey, it's almost impossible to escape. After a long journey, it's time to replenish, and there are lots of options on the food menu. Wintertime is when most of the migrants concentrate on Portuguese wetland. Many bird species flock together and can be seen flying in graceful patterns and displays. With the skies full of life, this is one of the most special times of the year in the wetlands. Today, most of the wetlands in Portugal are protected. Wildlife can keep thriving here with all this abundance. Such abundance has also attracted humans since immemorial times. In some places, wetlands were transformed in concrete jungles. In Portugal, the biggest cities are located near estuaries. The easy access to food and the natural communication channels of these areas create the perfect conditions for humans to settle. Lisbon is one of the finest examples of this successful setting. Today, it is the capital of Portugal, and it is situated in the biggest estuary of Western Europe, the Tagus Estuary. Cities seem like a hard environment for wildlife. Although abundant, food can be difficult to access. But for the most adaptable, cities can present very good opportunities. Here in this dock, there is a species that developed an incredible behavior. In some areas, they take advantage of human waste. But here, they learned how to keep a wild diet. The mussels that grow on the riverbanks are a dazzling delicacy. But the mussel's defenses are almost impenetrable. They have a powerful shell that protects them from the outside world. Are the seagulls capable of handling this tough opponent? This one is willing to give it a try. Seagulls didn't evolve with a specialized bill, able to crack the mussel's shell. So they had to find another solution. Embracing the man-made environment, they seek the concrete on the ground. They fly over the dock looking for the best dropping zone, and they let the gravity do the work for them. But this is not an easy task. The mussel shells are very hard. The seagull must keep on trying. Over and over and over again she drops the mussel to the ground until she finally gets what she's after. But she has to be careful with opportunists. They are everywhere. The mussel's tasty meat is reachable at last. A high-protein meal to compensate for so much effort. Juveniles are on the watch. They have to learn with the elder. Although sometimes it seems easier to try to steal from others. These two youngsters are proud students and are trying to get some mussels on their own. Which can prove to be a challenging task. The edges of the river are surprisingly slippery. To worsen the situation, the mussels are incredibly strong. After a while, this one gets his prize. But the slippery wall seems invincible. Now, he has to pass the final exam. He executes everything perfectly. Strength is sometimes better than intelligence. Life in the city is not so bad after all. Portugal's coast and sea are another world to discover.